In this video, I'm going to show you how to transform a shape using rotation. Before I do that, we need to understand a couple of keywords, clockwise and anti-clockwise. They're going to be very useful to us. Clockwise, as the word suggests, means that you're turning a shape in the direction that the hands on a clock would move. So looking at the clock, that's that way. And conversely, anti-clockwise means turning against the hands of a clock or in the opposite direction to the way the hands on a clock move. So that would be in that direction. Okay, here we've got some shapes that have been rotated 90 degrees clockwise, 90 degrees anti-clockwise and 180 degrees. So in the first one, this has been rotated 90 degrees clockwise. This arrow has been rotated 90 degrees anti-clockwise. And here this arrow has been rotated 180 degrees. You can either look at it as being rotated 180 clockwise or 180 anti-clockwise. But you'll get the same image after a rotation of 180 degrees, whether you go clockwise or whether you go anti-clockwise. It's worth mentioning that 90 degrees clockwise is the same as 270 degrees anti-clockwise. Okay, and that 90 degrees anti-clockwise is the same as 270 degrees clockwise. And that's because, if you think about it, we're doing a quarter turn in either direction, which is the same as a 3/4 turn in the opposite direction. Okay, here we've got two examples. Rotate object A 90 degrees clockwise, label the image A1, and then rotate object B 90 degrees clockwise about the point 92, label the image B1. So there's not much different about those two instructions. We're rotating shapes that are both rectangles, they're both congruent shapes, so they're both the same shape and the same size. We're rotating both of them 90 degrees and both of them clockwise. So the only difference is that we're using a centre of rotation to rotate object B, and we'll see the difference that that makes. Okay, object A, rotate it 90 degrees clockwise, so that's a quarter turn in the direction of the hands of a clock. And it doesn't say that there's a centre of rotation, so I can really just rotate it and draw it anywhere on the grid. And label it A1. Okay, however, B has to be rotated about the point 92. So that's the centre of rotation for B. So if I rotate that 90 degrees clockwise, it goes there. And hopefully you'll notice that it's that centre of rotation that's now holding on to the shape. It's the point around which the rotation is taking place. Okay, everything turned around that as if it was a hinge or a pivot. And then I need to label it B1. Okay, rotate object A 90 degrees clockwise about the point 55 and label it A1. So rotating this clockwise 90 degrees is like that. That was a quarter turn clockwise. And then rotate, let's have a look at what it says under here. Rotate object A 90 degrees anti-clockwise about the point 55. So I'm using the same centre of rotation, I'm turning it the same number of degrees, but now it's anti-clockwise. So rotate this anti-clockwise would be like that, that's 90 degrees. Label it A2. And then finally it says rotate object A 180 degrees clockwise about the point 55. So same centre of rotation, but now we're rotating at 180 degrees. And it doesn't matter if I go clockwise, which would have been that way, or anti-clockwise, which would be this way, I get the same image. But it says clockwise, so I'll do it clockwise, just to show you. Alright, there it is. And label it A3. Okay, so 180 degrees clockwise is the same as 180 anti-clockwise. 90 degrees clockwise is the same as 270 degrees anti-clockwise. and then this is the same as 270 degrees clockwise. Right, next three examples. Rotate object A 90 degrees clockwise about the point 5,4 and label the image A1. So in these examples, what I want to do is to use a centre of rotation that is no longer attached to the shape. I'm going to use these three as centres of rotation. And I'm also going to use three different centres of rotation just to make it clear the difference between where you place the centre of rotation. Okay, so the first one says about the point 5,4, which is over here. Okay, 5,4. Now rotate this shape, object A, 90 degrees clockwise. It's going to end up there. A1. Now rotate the object A 90 degrees anti-clockwise about the point 5,6. Okay, that's there. And it says to rotate it 90 degrees anti-clockwise. Okay, 90 degrees anti-clockwise, that would be this way. So A2 is there. And then finally, it says rotate object A 180 degrees clockwise about the point 9,6. So centre of rotation over here, and rotate it 180 degrees clockwise. That's a quarter turn so far, and that's a full half turn. Okay, it should really line up with the squares if I had the centre of rotation in exactly the right place. A3. Okay, so there we had three different centres of rotation, but also three different directions or degrees to which we were rotating. But the centre of rotation made a key difference. That was the point around which we were doing all the rotating.